July 20, 2022 Cedar Creek Township Planning Commission meeting to order. I have 6:02 on the time. If I could have roll call, please.
Member O'Reilly?
Here.
Chair Barnes?
Here.
Member...
Right.
Thank you.
Here.
Member Giddings?
Here.
And Member Sloan here.
Thank you. First item on the agenda is approval of the agenda, and I would like to...
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
I second.
Thank you. I would in fact like to amend the agenda, and we did talk about this before we started the meeting, so I'm going to actually ask to make a friendly amendment to your motion, and that is I would like to create a new number 5 and move everything else on the agenda down one number. And so number 5 would now be invited guest speaker, and that will be Morgan Carroll from Greater Muskegon Economic Development, or GMED. Under unfinished business, which will now be number 9, I would like to create a new number 1, which would be Survey Monkey and survey questions to include in the mailing of the newsletter. And what was number 1 of review pages 6 through 13 of the master plan, I'd like to make that number 2. Would you agree to the friendly amendment? Thank you. Do you
support that.
Still support? Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, the agenda is approved. Next item on the agenda is approval of the minutes. Those were included in your packet.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Is there support?
Support.
I wanted to, under discussion, clarify one thing, and that is in our packets, there was a statement about some confusion in the agenda, and I believe it was on the top of page 2. And it says, the 40-acre parcel is zoned FR. Would the correct designation be LLR, or large lot residential? I reviewed my notes, and I believe that that was in fact the motion that was made last month, and that is that it would be, go from FR to LLR. So to answer the question that was posed.
The confusion was in the adjacent parcel at 6253. That was proposed to be, the front of his is R2, so we were gonna make the whole thing R2.
Yes, that's what my notes reflect.
So that stayed that way, right?
I apologize, I don't understand what you're asking me.
Did the planning commission recommend approval of his FR to go to R2, so that the whole parcel is all R2?
That's what my notes reflect.
Good,
Does
okay,
anybody else
that's,
have anything different?
I didn't think we were talking about the second parcel, the smaller one, being dually zoned. I thought we were only talking about John Blamer's.
I don't remember the names. He said he thought
Mr.
only John.
Bonebreak.
Mr. Bonebreak, so I thought we were talking only about John's big parcel of him.
But that's what I wanted to clarify.
I think that was the confusion, is because we started talking about both of them instead of just
At the same
the
time.
one that was
yeah.
here. Correct.
I thought they were both before us.
They were. It was published, and the application said from FR to R2.
Yes.
It ended up, the planning commission recommended FR to large lot.
Correct.
But I understood that to be just on the large 40-acre piece, and Mr. Bonebreak's, where there's already a house, would stay all R2, not large lot. That's what I wanted, that's how
Two
the
separate
minutes
things.
reflect.
Okay, so it sounds like there was confusion among the board as to what we were actually voting on. So now I gotta double check the
I
minutes.
think Andy made the motion to, and I supported it. That should be,
But the discussion was all about the 40-acre piece being large lot residential, so that's what I took the motion to be, for the 40-acre piece to go to large lot residential. But you didn't talk about changing the adjacent piece to large lots, so I took it to mean that's gonna be all R2.
I don't remember any
Like it was
discussion about the
proposed.
large lot residential on lot 2. We just
Right.
discussed the one.
Right.
Okay.
Correct.
Oh,
That's where I'm at, just the big
Okay.
piece,
Yeah.
the big 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we have to deal with that another time?
No,
Okay.
I just wanted to clarify that because it was advertised to go to R2, but just the one piece, the two pieces didn't both go to large lot, just large one, correct?
Large one went to large lot,
Okay.
yes.
Right.
Okay,
I agree with that,
Okay.
100%.
Yeah,
I just
'cause we were
wanted the
worried about
minutes to re-
subdivisions, and
yep,
if it would've been the other, it'd only be an acre and a half.
Right.
They could've really.
Yes, because we had a discussion about 5
Yeah.
acres, and
Yeah.
so I
Okay.
agree with all that.
road and-
okay.
Yeah.
So did we basically short Mr. Bonebreak? Does he still need a decision?
No,
No, okay,
no,
okay, so we're good.
yeah.
So we
I
just
just
have,
wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page with my interpretation.
So the rear of the Bone Break property goes from FR to R2.
Right,
Okay,
and then the big piece of property, the LLR.
goes from FR to LLR, right, okay.
yes,
Okay.
I thought that's where we started, but we've come full circle, so that we're all in agreement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
I just want to make sure that I'm understanding. So you're good now?
Yeah,
Okay. So with that, Cheryl, did we do an actual motion on the minutes?
I made a.
Oh,
made a
no, I was
motion
under
that-
discussion.
And
Yep.
Yep, and I was under discussions. Any additional discussion on the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion to approve the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Hearing none, it is unanimous. So, thank you. Next is number 5, which is invited guests and speaker, Morgan Carroll. Thank you for coming, Morgan. And Morgan is here from the Greater Muskegon Economic Development, and she is going to educate us. So please step forward.
I will try to.
Oh, you're gonna do great.
So we're gonna split this into 2 parts. Our new CEO, Marla, is going to do the last part for our next 5 years, and I'm gonna go through the last 3 years of what we've done.
Perfect.
So, if we turn to the second page, wanted to review what we have done over the last 3 years by the numbers. So, Greater Muskegon Economic Development is the county-wide economic development organization. So we serve every single municipality and business within Muskegon County. Small, large, not saying that we provide every single service to each of them, but we do have our partners throughout the county that do provide resources for businesses that we don't have those resources for. So a lot of our work is on expansion and retention of manufacturing in Muskegon County. And so that's what the 3 years by the numbers are. So over the last 3 years, we've created or helped create 664 new jobs, 396 retained jobs. So what a retained job is we had a chance of losing those jobs out of state. So one example would be Highlight up in Whitehall. We had competition between their Whitehall facility and their Texas facility. So they were either going to close their Muskegon County facility, and move it down to Texas, or consolidate their Texas one into Whitehall. So they consolidated and moved into Whitehall. So that's what a retained job is we would have lost all of those employees and that business in the county. We've had over $548 million in capital investment. One of the big ones that was just announced is Project Blue, which was in the news 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago. And that is in Muskegon Charter Township, and they took over, they just purchased the former BASF site. And so that was a $430 million project. Chemical project, 200 jobs, over 200 jobs. Average wage is over $90,000. you know, they're gonna be pulling, a lot of these jobs, that are new and that are retained and that are now coming in the future, those individuals are coming from all over the county really to fill these open positions. Total economic impact is over 1,000 new jobs, and our 3 years isn't over yet. We run until September 30, so we could have another big project break. So these could increase. I did not update our new sales and new wages because we don't know exactly their total new wages and new sales and everything like that. That will come out of Project Blue that was announced for BASF. But with the projects that had previously been announced, it created over $116.9 million in new sales. So really good new tax revenue for the county and the municipalities that they're located in, and then $30 million in new wages. So we can, if you guys wanted to, we can give you a breakdown of how those wages are spent. Whether it's new housing, whether it's shopping, whether it's dining, we can give you a breakdown of exactly how those numbers are spent. 3 year to date, our ROI, return on investment, is for every $1 that has been invested into Greater Muskegon Economic Development, over $1,600 has been returned to the community. So some communities that have been impacted, I just listed a few, not all of them. City of Whitehall, Montague, Whitehall Township, Norton Shores, Muskegon, and then Muskegon Charter Township. We do have quite a few others with projects that are in the loop right now. One of them being Eggleston, Ravenna, quite a few different areas that are being impacted right now. We currently have about 19 projects that we're working on that'll be closing. One of them I can announce that's not in here that we just haven't closed. It's in Eggleston Township. Roller Products, they used to be in Muskegon Heights, they moved out to Eggleston Township, and are working in a facility that's over 3 times the size of what they used to be in. So lots of growth. So what do we offer to our municipalities that are investors or not investors in the county? Our website is full of resources that you guys can tap into. One of them is Zoom Prospector, so all of our sites are available on our website. You can pull up a site, you can put in, I want X amount of square feet, I want X amount of acreage, I want it to be industrial, commercial, you name it, you can type in those parameters, and it's gonna pop up all the facilities that are available. Right now we're working with our intern, Connor, to reach out to all of the municipalities that have extra land that they know that they might say, okay, this would be a great opportunity for us to sell because we don't use it. It's of no benefit to the county or to our municipality to keep it, and we would like to bring in a new facility, et cetera, into our community to increase tax revenue, to increase opportunities for our residents. So we're working on that right now. We also do local municipality training. So once a year we do offer planning commission trainings, zoning board of appeals, board of commissioners, et cetera. And those are recorded and posted on our website. So if you guys ever want to go on our website, check those out. That is on there.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have to be a member of GMed to?
No.
Okay.
Nope. So all of the stuff on our website is available to everybody to use for free.
Excellent.
A couple of other things that we do right now is we work with a lot of our communities to acquire different grants. One of them is an EPA grant that we just were awarded. It was $500,000, and that is used to prepare a site that has contamination, to get it site ready in order to construct on that site. So phase 1, phase 2 studies. The company can be reimbursed for those environmental studies. We've also been working with Muskegon Heights, North Shores, etc. We receive grants through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation to help with their site readiness of some of their sites that they want to promote to new industrial users. In Muskegon Heights specifically, I'll point out that we're in the process still of doing the vision plan for downtown Muskegon Heights. They're considered a rural community because of their population, poverty rates, etc. So we're able to tap into different funding resources for them. So the vision plan is ready, it's done. Now we're taking that vision plan, taking it to the next step. Okay, what do we need to do now? And what are the small little things that we can start doing that require not millions of dollars worth of funding, but a few $100,000. So get some of that low-hanging fruit. We also have countywide data that's accessible on our website, so you can literally pull up Cedar Creek Township, and it's going to have all of your demographic data right on our website. And that's really nice for you guys because you can call us and we can give you the information, and that's totally fine. If you don't want to call us and you want to do it on your own and you're applying for any federal grants, state grants, etc., they're going to want to know that information that's on our website. It's updated as frequently as the data sources are updated. So it's once it comes from multiple sources of data through the government, once those are updated, it's automatically repopulated onto our website. We also have another platform, it's called Jobs EQ, and that's for different economic indicators. So we can do economic profiles. If you're thinking about adding any type of new business, I'm trying to think of how it would really apply to you guys. Adding a new business, adding potential new construction to your community, we can see what the economic impact of that is going to be on the community as far as the dollar amount goes. We work with PTAC as well, so they're underneath us. They're the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. So they actually offer free government contracting services. So as you guys probably know, local, state, federal government, if you want to work with them, you have to go through a certain type of process in order to supply to any type of government. So they go ahead and they help you with that process, and that process is free. It's offered for 13 county regions, so Muskegon County being one of them, and they're housed right in our facilities. We also work with the state of Michigan on our request for information. So companies contact the state of Michigan that are looking to expand into the state or multiple different states, and we're able to submit sites and information to those requests if we have sites that are available to them, which, to be honest, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. We don't have very many sites available. And land and buildings are becoming very sparse for us to really attract new businesses to the area, or really to keep businesses here to help them expand. That's where most of our focus is. I'd say over 90% of our focus is just on expanding and retaining our current workforce and our current businesses. We also market our region for talent and for businesses through Livability and the Trade and Industry magazine. Livability is basically a county-wide magazine that the chamber actually pays for a lot of it, and then they have sponsors, and it's 70 pages all about Muskegon County. So data, statistics, stories on Muskegon County, testimonials from people who live here. So it's a great way to attract talent because as many of you probably know, we can't find people to fill jobs. So that's one of the ways that we do that. And then we're also involved in a housing study right now because of the lack of housing in Muskegon County as far as affordable housing. So that's just a quick touch on what we do. You guys have any questions before I pass it off?
No, it's very impressive.
Is that Livability magazine available in the community or just from your offices?
Yep, so we mail them out to all of our chamber members. And then we have them at our offices, and then it's also online. So I can send you the online version if you'd
Okay,
like.
sure.
And so the magazine is online, but then there's also additional stories online. And then there's promotions from local employers where they have ads running and stuff like that. It's one of the most popular magazines to promote your community. So we do it every year, and this is our 3rd year, and we'll re-up again. We get 5,000 or 6,000 copies, and we run out usually every year. So it's really good for helping to relocate talent, like I said, into the community, or bring them back, because if they grew up here, why not have them come back? So.
Excellent. Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marla Schneider. I am the President CEO of Greater Muskegon Economic Development, and I've been on the job for about a month and 20 days now, so don't ask me any tough questions yet.
Well, welcome.
Thank you. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the next 5 years. Morgan has been working on the wastewater volume, so we have a big project going on right now that will increase capacity through a wastewater pipeline to the tune of 7.5 million gallons per day. And that is very important. Our county has a huge capacity that is really underutilized, so increasing our wastewater volume helps keep all of your rates down. The more that we have flowing through that pipeline, the lower your rates are. We also have some projects that we're working on to help alongside of that. One is called Project One Fish, Two Fish. And since it's an active project, I can't say much more than it is a fish farm. And you can kind of tell that from the project name. But that will have a 4 million gallon per day usage. So again, the more that we can push through the wastewater pipeline, the lower your rates are. And it's important to the county and the township, so that is something that we, when we're working with site selectors, we're really talking about wastewater capacity. And Morgan had mentioned that we spend most of our efforts on expanding existing business, and with labor shortage that we're having right now, that's really an important focus of ours, is just retaining talent here, placing talent in our existing businesses, but organically we do get a lot of these site selectors that are calling us because they have these projects that may be a good fit for Muskegon County, so we do respond to those. New business development, so promoting entrepreneurship. We have the farm, which is a incubator for businesses that are packaging food. We have Lively Kombucha in there and some other businesses. There's 3 bays, and we have 2 businesses sharing a bay, and then Lively Kombucha has a bay on its own. So that's something that just helps with our food processing, agri-processing industry that we want to focus on in western Michigan here. And then pursuing grants for communities. Morgan had mentioned the grant that we received for the Brownfield Phase 1 and Phase 2. So those are things that we're constantly working on, is how can we be a vehicle for communities for the grants that they want to receive and they want to go after. So we have a person on staff who works on grant writing and grant reporting and managing grants, and so that's something that we provide as a service. And then we obviously partnering with other regional economic development organizations is key to just making sure that we are all swimming and rowing in the same direction and not working against each other. So we're always working with our partners that are our neighbors here. Countywide impact, drive critical infrastructure build. So broadband, you probably know that it is very difficult to get internet in some areas of Muskegon County. And it could be even in areas that are what you would consider the urban areas. They are sometimes underserved, and you wouldn't realize it until you have to go out to your car to make, you know, a phone call or get on Wi-Fi or your hotspot. So those are, broadband is an initiative that we're really focusing on improving in Muskegon County, and we're hoping to fund a study for that. Expanding rural development, that could mean expanding development in rural areas. Morgan had mentioned Muskegon Heights is considered a rural area as well. So by definition, that can be a pretty broad term for us as far as rural development. Provide economic development services to all communities, that's important. You had asked, do you have to be a member to access information? Absolutely not. So even, you know, we're funded by certain communities, but we give access to our information, and we serve communities with economic development no matter what the status is as far as funding. So we cover the entire county of Muskegon. And then offering continuing education programs and economic development tools for local communities. So Morgan touched on that a little bit with training opportunities that we provide once a year for municipalities on kind of best practices. Marketing. So one of the things that we need to do a better job in the next 5 years is marketing ourselves. Marketing GMed and the services that we provide. So going out and talking to townships and businesses and educating. So we're living in this just past kind of COVID crisis where we're all meeting in person again. And it was really hard for the past, 2.5 years to market our organization. So we want to make an effort to get out and talk to people and let everybody know what our services are. And then actively market rural sites for large investments, which Morgan had touched on, that we have this sites and buildings database on our website where you can type in all of the specs that you want if you're looking to expand your business to see, is there an available building for me or an available site for me to build upon. Beyond that, I think traditionally economic development was really about expanding and attracting businesses, job creation, capital investment, but it's turned into so much more in the past 15 years where it's about talent attraction and retention, and that really revolves around lifestyle. And so Morgan was telling me when we were driving here about the kayak launches that are in Cedar Creek Township. And so I think those things are important, and really, even though it's not a traditional economic development scope, it really ties into the ability to attract people to want to live and play and work here. So those aspects are important.